on News Talk 95.3, 101.9 FM, and 1340 AM, your MNC nation stations.
Good morning. Welcome to Tuesday. It's July the 2nd, 2024. I'm John Simney, the MNC News Center, and the news continues with our top local stories. One person was injured in a shooting in Benton Township. Officers were called to the area near Briarwood Apartments just before 9 o'clock on Saturday night, and there they found a person suffering from 2 gunshot wounds. The wounds were not life-threatening, and the victim was treated at the hospital. No arrests have been made yet. The suspect or suspects involved are still at large. Anybody with information should call the Benton Township Police Department. The fourth person associated with an armed robbery in 2020 has been in court.
21-year-old Delaney Davis is accused of robbing a man at Ashton Pines in Goshen. 2 others pleaded guilty last year. The victim reportedly was asked by a woman he met on Snapchat for help with their car. And while he was looking at it, 2 men robbed him at gunpoint, taking a stainless steel gold chain, his wallet, his phone, and money from the glove box. The 2 men then got in the car the woman had arrived in and left, along with another woman who had remained inside the vehicle. The Goshen News says Davis's jury trial is set for January 6th. Alyssa Foster, MNC News.
The South Bend Fire Department responded to fires at the vacant Mathis Little League Park at 4700 West Meadow Lane. The first time was around 7:30 on Saturday night. The second time just before 6 o'clock the next evening. Crews found small fires both times in different buildings on that property. There were no reports of injuries to firefighters. Anybody with information is asked to contact the South Bend Police Department. At least 7 people were injured when officials say one of the fireworks apparently malfunctioned.
Multiple homes and nearly a dozen vehicles in Griffith, Indiana were damaged on Saturday. People living there were freaked out.
You walk out and you see nothing but smoke and maybe 50 to 80 people just running everywhere. It was almost like you couldn't believe it's happening on your block.
Officials are still looking into what happened. Morgan Hopkins, MNC News.
Well, keep your insect repellent nearby. Mosquitoes with West Nile virus have now been found in northern German Township. So now both St. Joseph County and neighboring Elkhart County have skeeters that have tested positive for the virus this year. St. Joseph County Health Department anticipates more cases of West Nile until the first hard frost. In the meantime, the health department will treat for mosquitoes in the affected areas. And it's been an up and down year for different fruit crops in Michigan, but there's one in particular that growers are feeling pretty good about this year.
And that crop is cherries. Farmers say the crops are looking particularly good again this year, with the west central part of the state anticipating a 55 million pound crop. The harvest is already underway, especially in the northwest part of the state. WSJM reports that farmers in western Michigan are enjoying the calmer weather here at the start of summer to start harvesting tart cherries. David Shea, MNC News.
A woman in Michigan who won more than $100,000 in a jackpot is suing the MGM Grand Casino where she won. She claims she never got the money.
65-year-old Denise Ezell says she won $127,000 at a blackjack table at Detroit's MGM Grand. Officials at MGM, though, refused to pay her and told her she was trespassing. Ezell was confused. She'd been gambling there regularly for years. She says no one ever informed her, either verbally or in writing, that she'd ever done anything wrong. Turns out in 2015, she'd been escorted out of the casino accused of panhandling. But in reality, she says she'd just gotten into a fight with the person she came to the casino with, who she said had promised to float her money if she was losing. The attorney now representing Ezell says they've tried to get the money back without going to court without success. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
And now a jackpot of another kind. A lot of money earned from hosting one of the NBA's biggest events.
The Indiana Pacers announced the economic impact of the 2024 NBA All-Star Game that was held in Indianapolis last season. In a press release, they said that All-Star festivities brought $403 million in economic value to the capital. Accounting for almost 1/3 of that total was earned media value, which brought in $112 million. That money came from the NBA, corporate partners, and the 81,000 visitors, over half of which came from outside of Marion County. Sam Fritz, Network Indiana.
Several new state laws are taking effect this week. One will impact elementary school students who did not pass the iRead exam back in 2nd grade. 3rd graders will now have 3 chances to pass the state's reading exam or risk being held back. It's a law written by State Representative Jake Teshka.
Our goal is to ensure that students are reading at grade level before they move on, so they have the best opportunity to succeed.
So schools will now be required to ban cell phones in class during instruction time. New this morning on MNC, Indiana Congresswoman Victoria Spartz has been charged with a weapons violation at Dulles International Airport in Washington, D.C. Spartz was charged back on Friday. She got a summons to appear in court in Virginia. Additional details were not immediately available. The 45-year-old from Noblesville serves Indiana's 5th Congressional District and is seeking re-election in the November election. A South Bend man was killed in a crash on State Road 2. This happened on Sunday morning near the interchange for the bypass. Witnesses reported seeing a red Chevy SUV traveling westbound driving into the grass median and then striking the concrete supporting wall under the bridge. Now, when they got there, officers discovered the body of the driver, 75-year-old John Ulmer. Factors into that crash are still being investigated. As people gear up for Independence Day, safety experts are stressing the importance of handling fireworks responsibly.
Firefighters all over Indiana are warning about the dangers fireworks pose. Noblesville Fire Department Division Chief Trevor Hash says injuries are less common now thanks to awareness, but there still will likely be injuries.
As far as injuries go, we've had injuries in the past. They're not as common because of things like what you're doing right now. The awareness of you don't want to go out there and touch the dud. You want to have an adult set them off and have a big perimeter.
Hash reminds everyone that fireworks can easily ignite nearby structures, vegetation, and clothing, leading to severe burns, lacerations, and eye injuries. Keep children at least 100 feet away and never let them handle fireworks. Mike Wilson, MNC News.
Remember when the 4th of July was just a one-day holiday? Now, turns out a lot of people are making a full week of it.
AAA's prediction of record-breaking travel looks to be a reality. Spokeswoman Aixa Diaz says in this post-pandemic world, it's easier for a lot of people to take more time off.
Before, it was a little bit more rigid. People would take their summer vacations and then take off work. Maybe the kids were out of school. But now what we're seeing is that with the rise in hybrid work, more people are using that to their advantage and being more flexible.
The previous 2 record-breaking July 4th weekends were 2023 and 2019. AAA says this July 4th will beat them both. Heather Starr, MNC News.
And more information as Beacon Health Systems expects work to begin this summer on that $21.7 million outpatient center in Mishawaka. The 25,500 square foot facility will include 2 levels and feature advanced imaging and physical therapy services, as well as doctors' offices. The facility will be located on the northeastern corner of Lincoln Way East and Church Street, across from the library, with parking available between Main and Church Streets.
Partly sunny skies today. Will be a little bit warmer this afternoon with a high temperature of 83. We will see a little more humidity as we head into tonight. Partly to mostly cloudy skies overnight. We'll see a slight chance of rain showers. We'll stay warmer right around 70. And then for Wednesday, a few scattered showers, high temperatures in the mid and upper 80s. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
You can get the morning's top local news stories on demand by subscribing to the Local News Podcast. Go to 953mnc.com and click where it says on demand.
Podcasts by Federated Media.